Welcome to part 7 of our holiday of a lifetime. In this video we arrive in Kochi and visit a replica of the famous Monet's garden. Then we enjoy a stroll around the striking Makino Botanical Gardens. Back on ship we had another unfortunate mishap, this time involving red wine. Well, hello, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome to part 7 of our day in Kochi.
Yes, welcome. Now, Kochi is on the island of Shikoku.
Shikoku.
Oh, I love these Japanese pronunciations of words. Anyway, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Look, we arrived early in the morning and it was a very bleak weather, but it wasn't going to stop us. We were looking forward to getting off the ship.
That's right. We enjoyed another ship tour that day called Monet's Garden and Makino Botanical Gardens. And it was actually a 2-hour bus ride to these gardens, which were located at the Kitagawa village.
Well done. I love our pronunciations. Yeah, that was a very long, it was a 2-hour bus ride, but very comfortable bus ride. And the trip, actually, the road was highlighted by many rice paddies, which is actually the main agricultural industry of Kochi. And
the rice paddies were everywhere. Even little properties had a little space of land that have rice paddies growing.
Yeah, all right. It was
just a little plot of land. There's rice paddies, and
yeah, I think every resident there has its own little business of rice paddies.
They were everywhere. Down the highway, both sides, just wall to wall rice paddies.
Yeah, no, it was very interesting.
It was good. We actually noticed when we were driving and got closer to the coastline, there were lots of concrete walls ranging from a height of between 3 metres and 10 metres.
Yeah, they said the landscape was dotted with this continuous line of concrete wall.
Went for kilometre after
kilometre. Why were they there?
And they were constructed to protect the people from the many tsunamis that they
that's right. Yeah, right. And that was, became really quite real that we're actually there is a danger of tsunamis.
Yeah, and you sort of think, when you live there, like you're totally unable to see the beach because
that's the parts of it
you've got this concrete wall just looking at you. Anyway, at least they're protected, so that's the main thing.
That's right.
Also, driving along, we noticed many structures that look like multi-storey car parks.
Car parks, that's what we said. They must be car parks.
And we actually said to the tour guide, these car parks, like they're just dotted all along. And he said, no, they're actually constructions. They're evacuation towers that they've been put there for the people. So when a tsunami strikes, they've got somewhere to go and they run to these structures and they can go up the many steps and they're safe.
Yeah, that's right.
We can't even imagine living with
that
danger sort of fear.
Again, it just reinforced there is a danger of tsunamis.
I know,
in this area.
and it must be like a constant fear in them, like every day. So anyway, we're very lucky here in Australia. We don't seem to get those.
No, we don't have anything like that here, so in Australia. Anyway, after the scenic drive, which again we said dotted with some tsunami walls, we arrived at Monet's Garden, which was established in April 2000 under the close guidance of Claude Monet's foundation. And
actually Claude Monet was a French painter. He was born in Paris in 1840 and he lived to a ripe old age of 86. He was a French painter and founder of Impressionism, and he mostly painted nature and he used his own garden for inspiration, which consisted of water lilies, bridges and ponds. And the garden that we actually visited in Kochi was is the exact replica of the garden in his own home.
Yeah, in France.
In
France.
Yep.
And we started off, we went to the first part, which is the water lily gardens, which is absolutely most magnificent, beautiful. I can't think of how many superlatives that we could describe this spot, but it had
and it starts off mainly the biggest pond, a huge pond, and as you're walking around the pond, they've got several viewing platforms, and you'll stand on a viewing platform and you might look at this most beautiful bridge that's covered in wisteria.
Which we were there at the time when the wisterias were out, so that was just fantastic.
So we were so lucky. But on an easel at that viewing platform is a painting, the exact painting that Monet has painted.
That's right, and it's a very famous painting. So you'll see it everywhere in galleries.
So you're looking at this beautiful bridge covered in wisteria, and then you look down at this painting, and they're identical. It was really fascinating, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's paintings all scattered all through the gardens of the same sort. Where
probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, there was paintings, and it's just the same. It's a painting of the garden, and if you look at the painting, and then beyond the painting at the actual landscape, it's exactly the same. So they've done in such a precise garden that they've put together here. So.
And they've done very, very, very well. Section of this garden was called the Botanical Garden.
Yeah, that's an Italian name.
Which was actually inspired by the Italian town of the same name. And it was a massive contrast between the two gardens, and we actually preferred the water lily garden.
Oh yeah, very much. Yeah, because when you think of Monet, you think of water lilies, but they were still beautiful anyway. So.
This particular part of the garden, they provided a guide and a lovely young lady who was very knowledgeable, but unfortunately,
if you could understand her,
her English was actually not very good. But our tour guide translated from, so she would say it, and then our tour guide would translate it back to us in English. And but look, she was very knowledgeable, and
that was a lot of fun anyway.
It was sort of like a bit of a dry garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little very dry garden. You'll see in the video that the companies there, our dialogue here, that what the contrast of the two gardens were very.
Look, it was not. We enjoyed it, but we just
after the spectacle of the water lily garden, it was not
That's
quite
right.
as good.
That's right.
It was still fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course, then it was lunchtime, and the lunch was provided. Yeah, it was. But lunch was provided as part of the tour, and it was very traditional Japanese, and it was actually all prepared and laid out, and we just got ushered to.
Oh, that's right. We just got ushered to our tables, and it was all sitting there ready for us.
Yeah, and it was great. But it was sort of consisted of soup and rice and
just other little bits and pieces.
Yeah,
of
Japanese delicacies.
And it was nice.
It was very, very nice. Of course, you didn't eat all yours, and I finished off yours.
I think I had the soup and the rice.
Yeah, you weren't quite so good on the delicacies, but
never mind.
A lot more veggies than you.
I would have been all right if I knew what it was, but no one could tell me what it was. So
No, they didn't give you a menu or anything like that.
Yeah.
But after lunch again, because I said it was quite a bleak day, it started to rain quite heavily, so we didn't really get to participate or appreciate the third garden, and it's called the Flower Garden, which it absolutely beautiful.
It was a nice garden.
Oh yeah, with poppies and all sorts of
it
nice.
Showed lots of nice flowers and a lot of fountains.
Yeah, well, one big fountain. One big one, and
then they had like little ones scattered around.
But the big fountain, it was quite. It was dominated the whole garden. So
so it was good. We had a nice time there. Back on the bus.
Back on the bus.
We made our way to another garden. This one was called the Makino Botanical Gardens, which they're located near the summit of Mount Gadashian. Gadashian.
Yeah, we love our
pronunciation. Sounds like
pronunciation.
Kardashian, but it's Gadashian.
Another Japanese pronunciation. Actually, these gardens, we had to. They were almost back close to the cruise port, so we had another, a few hour and a half or whatever it was to go back and look back at all the tsunami walls again and everything. But
never mind.
It was great. We love looking at the scenery. It's just a new, different country. So
that's right.
Fantastic.
We were fine. And these gardens were established to honour Dr. Tomitaro Makino.
Ooh, well done. You got that one right.
Who was a well-known Japanese botanist, and he apparently was responsible for finding over 3,000 different species of plants.
Yeah, I know. But this, in the centre of the gardens, there's a little a hut, or not a hut, a house.
Structure.
Which has got a nice fountain and everything. But in there, they've actually done a wax figure of the good doctor himself, and
poring over his notes
and everything, because he was a famous writer as well too. Yeah. So we've got a video here, or a picture of him. But the gardens were absolutely amazing. Again, I can't talk about them in superlatives. Different from Monet's, but in their own way, they were just as good. Through a canopy of, climbing roses.
And vines.
Yeah, vines.
And as we were walking down one of these tracks, there was, we noticed a big metal cage was locked up, and inside this cage was, I don't know how many opium plants.
Yeah,
but a lot. But they were under lock and key.
Oh, so very much. The cage could truly engulf the whole.
A huge cage. Yeah, a cage of opium plants.
Yeah, so that's why it was. Of course, they were opium poppies, or whatever you call them. So
yeah, and also too, there was a building housing the most spectacular bonsai.
Oh, you're going to talk about the bonsais?
The bonsai plants. Oh my goodness! So it just beautiful. They're in little tiny bonsais, massive big ones,
and they were
over hundreds of years old.
Oh no, extraordinary!
Hundreds and hundreds of years old, some of them, and each and every one of them was just so spectacular, and it just clever to be able to do that.
Beautiful. Continue to walk the gardens, or on acreage, and then you could see this greenhouse, wasn't there? And what was there? there was the most amazing, what were they? Tropical plants.
Oh yeah, in the greenhouse. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes, and little waterfalls, and
Water displays.
huge array of plants. And while we were walking along through here, they're playing music.
Yeah.
Like pop music in the background, and it was just created the most beautiful experience. It was like really serene and calm, wasn't it? It was lovely.
So we just had a magnificent day of viewing
Gardens.
I think when you go to Japan, there's probably two attractions that everybody goes to.
Palaces.
Palaces and gardens.
And gardens.
And
anyway,
our day today was
gardens.
all gardens, but two of the most magnificent gardens we've ever seen.
I wouldn't say we're gardened out, but nearly.
But
They were wonderful. They were wonderful to see.
And this was a ship tour, as we were saying, and it sold out very, very quickly. And we were lucky we booked it at the time when we booked the cruise, because you couldn't get onto it. It was so well.
They had a waiting list. The tour director said there was a waiting list of like about 500 people.
Not that many, I don't think, but
Was it?
it was.
Oh well, there was a lot of people on the waiting list anyway. So we were very lucky.
We were very lucky to get it. So if anybody who's contemplating booking this tour, please, well worth it. We thoroughly recommend it.
It was a very, very enjoyable day.
Back on the ship, we were treated to another departure ceremony, which seems to be synonymous with Japanese ports. And
yes, I think they're just, I don't know, it's like their way of saying that they're grateful that you've come to visit.
Oh no, and they do. They make you so welcome. They send you off with such enthusiasm. We certainly don't get that in ports in Australia.
No,
so
that's
it was
for sure.
just lovely.
Yeah,
but this departure ceremony was just a little small Japanese band playing as we sort of set sail.
So we were out on our balcony again, drink in hand.
Yeah, sailing off into the
sailing away to the beautiful Japanese band playing for us. Dinner that night was back in our favourite dining room, concerto.
Concerto, yes.
To see our fantastic waiters, Maureen and Adrian. And that night, my entree was a Chinese pork dumpling.
Yes, I know you all just wanted to have
I love dumplings, love them.
Love
and they didn't disappoint. They were very nice.
And I had a they call a South American corn cake again, which was lovely.
It looked delicious, yours actually.
Yeah.
And for main, I had the seared salmon.
Yes, you had your seared salmon, which again another favourite of yours. And I had the breaded lemon sole Colbert, which is a bit unusual, isn't it?
And it looked lovely, didn't it? You thoroughly enjoyed it.
No, I did enjoy it.
And we all know the story for sweets. So I have a glass of wine and a spoon, while Andrew had tiramisu.
Well, we had tiramisu that night, so that was
really
delicious.
Tiramisu and a spoon, and I had a glass of wine and a spoon, so it all works very well. Anyway, due to it being a very, very long day today, we decided that we wouldn't go to a show this night, and
it was about 8 hours out. We were out on that tour, so it was a long day.
So we decided, look, we'll just call into our favourite nighttime bar, which is the Wheelhouse Bar.
The Wheelhouse Bar.
So we just had a glass of wine and just talked to our lovely waiter, Ariel.
Yeah.
And then we took 2 glasses of red wine with us up to our cabin, so we could just relax,
have a nightcap up there,
and just reminisce about the day and just relax before getting ready for bed. Well, I put my glass of wine down on the desk, And I don't know what happened. But next minute, the glass of wine is on the floor, broken.
Shattered. That's shattered in the little places. How a red wine glass can shatter quite so much landing on carpet is beyond me. But
And
anyway.
red wine, oh my God, everywhere. Well, first thing I said, oh no, Elio's going to kill us.
And I'm thinking, my God, the tip we're going to it's getting bigger and bigger.
Anyway, look, lucky, because we were restricted with our clothing, I took a little jar of nappy sand. Because I thought if you spill something, you can just dab it with nappy sand and it will
get rid of the stains.
The stain will come out. So I have used the whole jar of nappy sand on the red wine spill on the carpet. Now, we were going to have a relatively early night that night.
We were dabbing that
for about an hour.
Spill for an hour.
Trying to get the red wine out of the carpet. And then we're like, oh, well, this will do. We can't get it.
Well, I reckon there's an endorsement for nappy sand because we just basically got that stain out of that.
You really couldn't, unless you knew, you would never see.
No,
you would never
that's
know.
right. Oh, it's a dark carpet, but it was
so
still.
Anyway, so we finally go into bed. So the next morning I say, well, we have to let Elio know because if he puts his hand in that bin, he might cut himself, quite badly because the glass is like in pieces. Anyway, so out we go. We were a bit nervous, but we went out and we faced him and we said, Elio, we're really, really sorry, but we had a bit of an accident last night and we broke a wine glass. I said, but we picked it all up and everything's fine. And he goes, oh, madam, show me where it is. And I showed him and he said, oh, well, now I have to vacuum. That's nothing compared to what we did the night before. Jamming up all these red
all
wine.
he does is have to whisk the old vacuum cleaner around.
Anyway, that was the end of our lovely day in Kochi, which we have some lovely memories of.
We hope you enjoyed part 7 of our holiday of a lifetime. In our next video, we dock in Kyoto, the third of the Japan stops. Our shore tour this time is a couple of iconic temples, including a palace with chirping floorboards.